today's video is all about brows. Now, I have mentioned before previously that I have discovered some newer things for brows that I feel like has definitely changed the game for brows for me. I wanted to share that with you because some of you guys have commented on how my brows look pretty good, and you know, I'm proud of myself because brows is something that I feel like can be tricky, at least for me in my own case. It's tricky because both of my brows are not exactly the same. They're not perfect. Some have, you know, one has a little bit more hair than the other. One is just so easy to do and the other one is just a pain in the ass all the time. So it's kind of all over the place. But I have discovered a few things recently and some just products that I have used before these newer products that I truly love and I feel like make a really big difference. And so I kind of want to share with you guys how I do my brows and also the products that I use for my brows. So before I get into the demo, I want to kind of talk to you guys just quickly about the things that I use and why. So the first thing is a spoolie. This is a big thing that you should have. You don't have to have a separate spoolie. This is just one from BH Cosmetics that I got from a 10-piece pop art brush set. Doesn't have to be this brand. It could be any brand. It could be the spoolie on a double-ended pencil. This one is the NYX Microbrow, what I'll talk about here in a minute. This one has a spoolie as well, works great. So just any spoolie is going to be your best friend. You can even use those disposable mascara ones because what you want to do is, as you will see in the demo, comb through the brows first before applying anything. And as you apply product, if you're going in with a pencil, when you're done, comb through it. When you go to apply a powder, if you do that over the pencil like I do, comb through that again, and it just sort of perfects everything. It smooths everything out and makes it look much more natural. So the spoolie is going to be your best friend when filling in your brows. I will also be using the Zoeva 317 wing liner brush. I will show you up close in the demo of this brush. It's a very fine angled liner brush. It's wide, but it's not too wide. But as far as like how thin it is, it's like paper thin. You can get like a sharp wing liner with this that will cut somebody because it is just so precise. So I love it for that, but I also love it for my brows because, again, that precision and that control that I have with it. I think it's a great brush as long as you find something similar to this. If you're going to use powder, I think that an angled brush is definitely going to be key when using powders. Now, as far as products that I use, I like this Milani brow shaping wax. It's just a clear wax pencil. It's one of those like chubby pencils that you have to sharpen. It's made out of wood. It's not one of those that you sort of twist up, but it is a waxy pencil in the center, which I like to do first, which helps kind of keep my brows, once I comb them through, it just keeps them in place. It just lays down all my hairs because I have some crazy hairs that do their own thing, want to go their own ways, and I'm like, no, you're not. And so I have to kind of comb through with this. And I like the wax versus doing brow gel first, just because some brow gels actually do have a hold to them, and I want to be able to comb through them as I apply products. So I use the wax because it's very, I can maneuver my brow hairs still even though I use this. But this is from Milani. It's great. It's from the drugstore. And then for pencils, the Micro Brow Pencil by NYX. I've talked about this in my Best in Beauty for 2015. It's a very fine, precise point, and that's what I love about this. I use the shade Ash Brown. Even though my brows are very dark, like the actual hairs themselves are black, they're very sparse. You can see my skin through them because it's very thin hair. It's not super thick. So I like to go with products that are a little bit lighter because if I match the actual color of my hair, it would look like I took my son's black marker and just kind of drawn on a brow. And that ain't cute. Like, that's not in style. Will never be in style. I'm not rocking that type of brow. Personally, for me, I just, no. So I go with something that's a little lighter just because I want to make sure that it looks the most natural. Now, I have discovered a new product, and the product that I'm talking about is the Catrice Brow Definer, the long-lasting one. This is actually like a liquid liner for your brows. I have the shade Chocolate Brownie number 030, and I got mine at Ulta. And I think you can order on their site. I don't know. It says the Catrice website on here, and it says made in Germany, but this is not an American brand, so I think Ulta is the only place that I know of that sells it as far as store-wide. You may be able to order from the Catrice site and have it shipped to the U.S., which I've never even checked their site out, and I probably shouldn't because I get myself in trouble doing that. But I love this. This is like a liquid liner for your brows, and what I do with this is fill in any little spots that I have missing hairs. I think for me, using this, and this is what I've been using lately that you guys have been commenting on. I think using this definitely helps because of the fact that I can create a little brush stroke with this that actually looks like hair, because I've chosen a really dark tone that matches the hair. I know it's kind of like counterintuitive using something dark to add little hairs when I'm using lighter products, but when I blend it out, it looks good. This is a really nice color. They have, I think, 3 shades at Ulta, and this is the darkest one, so that's the only one I could choose from, because the other ones were more for like light brown and maybe blonde hair. So of course this is the only one that I could use, and it works great. And like I said, this actually gives me the appearance of a brow hair there versus using a powder on my actual skin, because right up in this area here, I'm actually missing a spot that I had a little accident with waxing, and you know, I'm trying to do the DIY thing. Well, yeah, so I'm just waiting for those hairs to grow back anytime now. You know, I'm just hoping that they'll come back, but in the meantime, I use this to kind of help conceal that. Anastasia brow powder in medium brown. I love this. I have created a huge well and dip into this product. I use the light part, the dark part occasionally to define like the outer, like the tail end of my brow. But this powder, again, as you can see, it's much lighter, that light color, than what I'm actually working with as far as hair color and brows. But when I put this on, it defines my brow and it makes it look very natural versus using something like, if I were to use this color to fill in my entire brow, it would look like 3 times as dark as it does right now. And it would look very off because I'm so fair. It just doesn't look right. So medium brown is what I use. My hair is a red color, so I feel like this also works with that. Even if I were to do something that's not red for my hair color, I could still get away with using the medium brown. And I do like how this has a very ashy tone to it, which again, I think works when you're doing your brows, having something slightly more ashy and cooler versus something very warm and very intense. So again, just kind of keep that in mind if you're shopping for brow products. Use something slightly cooler, because I feel like it gives the most natural. And I've used warm tone colors, and it's pretty intense when you're using warm tone colors, especially when you're like dark brunette like I am. And then quickly for the mascara or tinted brow gels, tinted mascaras, whatever, because NYX calls theirs tinted brow mascara, which I've talked about. You've seen this before. I've done tutorials about brows using that before, but the new one is also by Catrice, and this is the eyebrow filler, the perfecting and shaping gel. I actually really like this. I think that this gives me a nice definition to my brows. I've used this on its own, and it fills in my brows. I would say an okay job of filling it. It's not going to make your look like you have, you know, a thick brow when you have no brows to begin with. It doesn't have any little fibers that I could tell. Or maybe it does. It's hard to tell with this. It might have some fibers, but I don't really notice any little of those fibers kind of clinging to my lashes, or clinging to my brows. So I don't feel like this is something that I could use to compensate for the bald spots. I would go in with the liquid liner thing for the brows first, go in and then kind of even everything out with a spoolie, then go in with the gel, if that was what I was going to do. So I do like this eyebrow filler. I do think it's a good option. I think I paid maybe $4 or $5 for it, and it's really great. It doesn't have the best hold in the world as opposed to my clear brow gel from Anastasia. That, like, I could go into a windstorm and my brows would be like shellac to my skin and they don't move. And I like it because, like I said, they want to do their own thing, and Mama's like, no, you're not. So I do like this, and I have used this on its own just to run errands, kind of run it through the brow. Same thing with the NYX one. The NYX shade, I use Brunette, and then this one from Catrice, I don't think it has a name on it. It says 010, so maybe that's the shade number. Again, no name on it, so it's just the darkest one that I could find at my Ulta. So those are all the products, and I really love these products. I feel like they do a really good job for my brows. I feel like they make my brows look really intense and very bold because I like a fuller brow, but it also looks natural. It doesn't look crazy. It doesn't look too dark or not dark enough. It just is the right balance. So I hope that you guys will find this tutorial or demo helpful. I'm going to just kind of insert now how I go about filling my brows every day. Alright, so one of the first things that I like to do is start by combing my brows, and I use a spoolie brush for this step. And I just kind of comb them. That's going to help keep them in place and sort of just lay down the hair exactly how I want them. So I want these front parts to come up a bit, and then here on the arch of the brow, I want them to kind of lay down. The first step is taking the Milani clear brow wax. So I'll take that and I just kind of run that through. And kind of come onto the sides as well. Now, I like to start with a pencil. The first thing that I'm going to take is the NYX Micro Brow. I have 2 of them. I use the ash brown color. And the point on this is very, very small. So again, it gives you that precise application, which is what I like. Now, I like to start by creating a line on the underside of my brow, just like so. And I'm looking straight ahead into a mirror so that I can get this line quite sharp and not super intense. I'm holding the pencil pretty far back, so it gives me a very light application. So once I've got that line down, I'm going to kind of turn my head and kind of come under the side, the underside of the brow, and sort of try to fill in the under part. Right in this spot right here, I have a gap where I'm missing some brow hair, so I do like to go over that area. And turning my head to the side to get this underside here. Now once I have that, I will kind of do hair-like strokes from that line going up towards the top part of my brow, like so, very light-handed, to start filling in the majority of my brow. And then once I have that part done, especially this inner part, very light, I will go in and do the same sort of line lightly on the top part of my brow. And turning my head as I do that. And then again, right in here, I have a spot that I'm missing some hair. So what I like to do is kind of go onto my skin to kind of create that rounded, smooth shape that I like. So come in here. I come down just a little bit because that one does stop a little short. Again, take the spoolie on the same brush or the same pencil or my separate spoolie and just sort of comb through this. And that's the biggest thing. As you apply a product, comb it through to give that natural look to the brow. Alright, so the next step that I like to take is the brow duo. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the medium brown brow powder. I love this stuff. I use mostly primarily this light color, and I always use an angled brush. Now this brush is amazing. This is my Zoeva liner. This is the 317 wing liner brush. Love it. It's very thin, so I can get really sharp lines with this if I wanted to. I can use this for many things, brows and liner. So what I'm going to do is take this light color right here, which is the lightest of the two, tapping off the excess. I like to come under this side again, right over that line, and sort of just flick it up, like so, so that it's very light. For this inner part here, I like to have a more kind of squared off look. So what I do is I just take whatever's left and kind of just flick it towards my nose. And if I need to kind of go downwards like this to create a hair-like mark with my brow powder. Now I don't like to go in too heavy in this inner part because I like it to be kind of natural. So I just kind of go back and forth like this, just to kind of get that product right into the hair. And again, take a little bit more powder and go around everything else. Now, one of the products that I've recently discovered that I really like is this Catrice Brow Definer. It looks like this. And I got it at my local Ulta. I want to say I paid maybe like $5 for this thing. And it's really great because it's like one of those eyeliner pens, but it's for the brows. So it works really well. And I have just the darkest brown. This is Chocolate Brownie number 030. So what I love about these types of products is that they actually give you the illusion of a hair. So wherever I have a bald spot, I will go and kind of create like a little hair-like flick, and it makes it look like I actually have the hair there even though I don't. So for this step, I'm going to take a handheld mirror and kind of get really close. And I have a kind of a spot right in here where I'm missing a hair. So I just lightly, I'm barely even pressing or putting pressure, because this is really intense and can look pretty harsh if you apply too much. Then I come up here where I'm missing another little bit of hair. and just sort of do that. And if I need to, I can kind of go lightly where just the tip is going through my brow hairs, just to kind of fill in this brow, because although I have a lot of brow hairs, it's very sparse. You can see a lot of my skin through it, so this definitely helps make that brow look much more solid than if I just use a pencil. And so I just come in here and just kind of lightly go through it. Now before that sort of dries and gets a little bit more long wearing, I would take my spoolie and just sort of comb through all of this and clean it up. If I need to, I go with my beauty blender with some concealer around it, which I will do later on after I finish the other eye. Once I fill in my brows, I do need to use brow gel. Now I love the Anastasia clear brow gel. It's a little bit pricey, but definitely well worth it. I also have discovered the Catrice eyebrow filler. This is the perfecting and shaping gel. I have the dark brown color, and it's got a nice applicator as well. Let me show you that. That's what it looks like. And it has a dark brown color to it, so when I run this through my brows, you know what I'll just do right now, it just adds a little bit more color. And I try not to use this one in particular too much when I've done this full step that I've showed you, because this does add color and it will make it a little darker. And the same goes for my NYX one that I absolutely love. These two are really great. So usually when I do all of this step, I do the clear brow gel. Alright, so that is it. That is exactly how I do my brows, and I just really like it because it gives me that full brow look that I like, but I don't look up close to the mirror throughout the day and see little spots that I miss. I feel like this whole sort of step-by-step thing that I do works, and you guys have noticed because you've commented on how my brows look on point, and I'm like, yes, I'm slaying the brows. So the only thing that I didn't show in the video demo is how I clean up around my brows if I make a mistake. I just take concealer in the back of my hand with a concealer brush. This is the Mikasa Beauty E220 brush, and just go around it and clean up like under my brow bone if I get a little sloppy with it. I don't do that every day, but you can use any concealer for that. So that is it. That's how I do my brows. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any more questions about brows or just anything in general about these products, let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer those in the comment section for you. So thank you so much for being here with me today, and I will see you very soon.